Shirley Lin. I live in San Francisco Bay Area. I'm originally from Taiwan, which is a small island outside China, and my parents were from China. So I grew up in Taiwan, and I went to U.S. and got my master's degree in computer science. So I came from a technical background in Texas. So I used to work at NASA as a hardware developer, and somehow I morphed into doing business. It's kind of strange move, but my background had always been in operating system development, and in 2009, I started getting into Facebook social games. So I did several startups, but all the previous one failed miserably. The one started by me did not succeed. So I have been working since 2010, actually, for Italian company, Chinese company, mobile advertising company, American startup in Silicon Valley, and last year I joined a French company, and some of you guys probably know, Next Week, based in Paris. This year, a few months ago, I got recruited by another Chinese company, but it's cross the border. It's called Yomob. Yomob is a company focused on using SaaS to service mobile game and mobile apps, using video advertising optimization to bring the best video ads, as you all know, the best performance advertising. This is for monetization for the game developers. Let me ask you something. We'll get into that a little bit. How many of you are doing mobile game development? Oh, quite a few. Woohoo! How many are thinking about doing? Maybe you've been doing PC game, web game, are thinking about doing the mobile game. Some? Okay, cool. Awesome. I have been traveling a lot in China, Europe, of course, in Silicon Valley, and speaking in a lot of conferences, especially in China, because I speak the local language. So I know a lot of the contacts there and pretty much read whole slews of stuff on their media. So I sort of know a little bit about the China's situation. Most of you probably have heard in China, huge growth, huge revenue in the mobile gaming especially. Used to be PC gaming and web gaming, but mobile gaming just in the past, I think since 2010, 2011. And I pretty much witnessed the growth of the mobile gaming industry in China. And of course, right now, also the downhill for the medium and small developers in China, because it has gone through huge consolidation in China. And as you all know, Tencent, NetEase, YouTube, Udo One, iDreamSky, these are the big players, and they pretty much occupy or take most of the revenue in China. So I just want to, because I only have 30 minutes, I can go on for 3 hours nonstop. I just talk a lot. So there's something besides mobile gaming. As I just mentioned, in China, the mobile gaming has been going through consolidation. For example, in 2013, in Chengdu, which is a capital of Sichuan province in in the southwest part of China, central southwest part of China. And Ubisoft, the Gameloft, have huge development, over 500, 700 each in Chengdu. They are known for very spicy food and beautiful girls. Yeah, they eat spicy food and skin is beautiful. Anyhow, so in 2013, there were 2,200, okay? 2,200 game studios, mobile game studios that were funded. 2,200 in one city, okay? This is 2013. By the beginning of 2015, down to 700. Many of them disappeared. And China is a place where people make decisions really fast, extremely entrepreneur, and they move fast. But a lot of them follow the trend. Whatever is great on the trend, making money, they just do it. They don't do market analysis. They don't do any of that junk. They just do it. Maybe they got a little bit of funding from uncle or somebody or old friends. They just go ahead and do it. So their pace is extremely fast. So that in 2015, and guess what they want to do? All these loose capitals, there's a lot of capital in China, became moving to VR, the space in VR. So there's a trend also because mobile space is shrinking. So there's something you want to know is paying entertainment. In China, people spend a lot of time on mobile. So now that mobile gaming is shrinking in terms of number of studios, so it kind of expanded. People are creative there. So they kind of expanded something called pen entertainment. So they make mobile games a soap opera. They develop the IP, become soap opera, and they develop books on that. And they can do esports. So it became pretty much all the entertainment life in people's life. They're consumed on the mobile. So therefore, these are a lot of opportunities as well. And VR, I talk about, and also in Tencent in 2016, in 2016, right? They created, because China opened for console games. So Tencent has been developed secretly, so to speak, a platform to compete with Steam, and it's called WeGame. Okay, so they are doing internal testing with quite a few, handful of partners, big console game partners. So basically, they execute really fast and they close the door. And remember, Steam in 2016, 25% of their revenue came from China. But of course, this is only a few big titles. So this is mobile gaming industry, so let's move fast. So pen entertainment, and I said, it's a lot of the opportunity, but you have to know something. In China, the government really, really regulates the contents of game industry for all kinds, whether it's a political reason or social reasons. So they clamp down on the publishing of mobile games as well as console game. You have to have a license in order to publish a mobile game for every single update. Those of you doing mobile game, you know that every month you do update, right? Fairly frequently. But now in China, you have to submit for approval every single update. And you have to provide on the device your game is running on. So whether it's iOS, iPhone, or any kind of Android phone, you have to preload, because government said, we don't have time to download your game. Just send us the device. I always tease so that they can keep a lot of devices. Anyhow, so it will take anywhere between 2 months to 9 months to get approval. And we're talking about update. So this becomes a huge hurdle for games from outside China to go there, which also created opportunity for some of the licensee, those game or publishing houses that manage to have the license to publish. So you work with them and they publish for you, and the speed is obviously much faster. If you try to do it yourself, you have to set up a company in China with 51% ownership by a Chinese entity. So this is a really tighten on that. Of course, the big houses, they still have that, still have the license. So we talk about also the game. In China, as you know, GDP is rising, so therefore they can afford for the pay games. So the capital infusion in China by late 2015 is 100 billion. So a lot of the e-commerce and opportunity as well. I want to really quick. These are just income of the Chinese in China. So I'm going to quick. I can share with this later on. So this I talk about it entertainment penetrating in everybody's life. These again, the government's regulation, the key point of investment, it's Baidu, Alibaba, Tencent. There are 2 other companies where government really encourage. Again, they developing all aspects of entertainment, not just mobile game. So users age, this is the largest. This is 30 to 39, and you can see the second largest, that's 20 to 29. People really spend a lot of time on mobile. So live streaming is becoming really just blossoming, because as you know, gambling, okay, casino was banned. But Chinese people were smart. Watching gambling is not against the law. So there's a sport that you watch through VR or however, offline or online, and that's totally fine. And people so it became really hot trend right now. Live streaming and also influencer marketing. It's probably bigger than you ever know. Live streaming, product placement, it's monetization. I think Chinese industry in the live streaming or game industry, live streaming, they figure out how to monetize on live streaming probably way before anybody because their mentality is, I gotta make money or something. They don't do anything they don't make money, to be honest. So they figure out a lot of the product placement, and it became influencer marketing. So if you want to launch a game in China, and they will get some, tier 2 movie stars, popular movie stars, and as a spokesperson, and do all sorts of justification, dress a person as a character in the story. You pretty much see that somewhat in the Western world also. And they got a very good, they use not just influencer marketing, they use a lot of the big data to profile the buyers, the conversion. So in the mobile gaming, this is the first time in 2016 it surpassed the PC gaming. PC gaming, even though the users base is smaller, but it's monetized pretty well. But mobile gaming is surpassed. So 59%, 60% year-to-year growth. So it's 419 million consolidated. We talk about that. And in Southeast Asia, SEA, user cost is still very low, $1 per install, and even lower if you know how to play with that. But be aware, in the user acquisition, UA in China, it actually almost as expensive as in US, $8 to $9 per user. Questions? Can we defer that really quick? And I'd be willing to address that. And especially with the growth, if you want to see emerging market mobile game growth, you just watch like Huawei or Xiaomi. These low cost, lowly priced handset, wherever they predict their growth, that's where your mobile game market is going to grow. Because people in the emerging market, they don't have a lot of income to play the games. You know what? They don't mind watching the advertising on the free-to-play games. So that's for free-to-play games, advertising is your big income. So be aware of that. So you want to take advantage of that. So mobile gaming, and we talked again, open door to more player participating on the phone, and very strong community building on the esport. So all these are very much about the esport tournament, online, offline. So it's a huge market, high quality. I think it's going to just continue to grow on that. This is cost per user I was talking about. Canada, $7. New Zealand, even Korea, it's $6. Taiwan, China, it's $5. As a matter of fact, this year it's been growing 8 or 9. So in China, the phenomenon is that you have experience, you launch a company, these are the device distribution. You launch a game, and then you get some funding, and then you burn money to get user acquisition. You burn really quick, you got to the top rank, and more investors will come in. These are the age group. Let's pass that. The mobile gaming, console gaming, For the game download, so these are different reasons. A lot of them, biggest reason for mobile game download is because I like the game, because I like the style that I'm used to the genre. But look at this percentage, 47.5%. And that's because somebody I know said it's a good game for me to play. So it's a lot of social elements as well. So the conclusion is that the paying entertainment. So think about all the aspects that happens in people's life who's relying on the mobile. You need to be adapted to that environment. And again, you develop the game, some of the games, but people's appetite in China, the player, are very tuned to the cute and story-based Western stories. And they like that.
You may need some localization language-wise, but some of the games did not change that much, but gained a lot of players, you know, a couple millions in the first 6 months or so. You want the story extensions good and that you can have longer life cycle. So maximize that. So NetEase, for example, and they produce a lot of in-house IPs and they expanded to global, but they are doing reversely. I'm sure some of you probably talk to NetEase people. They're bringing Western games to China market and they will help localize and help you do the vast distribution as well. So opportunities. This I have personally witnessed. A China game wants to go overseas because domestically they got regulated. They can't really, especially for medium and smaller, they can't really do publishing. They can't afford having to wait for approval, 2 months to 9 months. But they know the green box, we call it US dollars, green box, right? It's much better monetization and users' play behavior is a whole lot better. Also much less fraud because in China there's tremendous fraud. I can tell you the fraud stories in China. It's horrible. And so they have to spend a lot of money, but their ROI is not necessarily that high. So Chinese game wants to go abroad as well. So these created through the Western publishing house also. And also for the advertising revenue because Chinese game may want to advertise in your game, similar genre, and so on and so forth. So that's for game developers, that's your opportunities as well, using the advertising income, revenue. So the kind of things I know many of you are looking for funding, yes, China does have a lot of capital. However, they're also very shrewd because they really know their games well. So they usually do equity investment or M&A, few cases of M&A. But you need to be careful. Navigating the Chinese game industry or sector is, you need to be extremely cautious. I always compare it to like you navigating the landmine. If you're not careful, it just explodes right in your face. You have to ask around a lot of references. Sure, you just like here, you drink wine with them, go eat with them. But still, multiple references and check with all the people, the friends that you know, directly or indirectly about the company or potential partner. That's the best way to find it out, okay? When it comes to like, ooh, too good to be true, it is always too good to be true. Something that you need to be extremely careful about. Sure, capital is great, but right now, Chinese government also this year, they clamped down on capital outpour because their US dollar reserve is shrinking. So for the bigger M&A or equity investment, it's really hard. So if you want to get an investment, one of the things you want to ask for Chinese investor is your capital, is your fund American dollar based. If it's a Chinese dollar based, I don't care how many billions they have, they're not going to get it out. So they can promise you, and at the end, it's got caught up. Okay, I only have 1 minute, so I'm really going to be quick because I need to do a little bit commercial for Yomob as well. So find the partner, as I mentioned. You need a license, and also in China, Android is extremely fragmented. Over 700 some Android platforms. iOS much more reliable. Monetization is still good. And then you want somebody who already a partner who already has a deep relationship with all the major platforms in China. That will get you, much better shortcut. Video ads advertising, that's really rising in the mobile game. That's the best performing format right now. You guys heard of Vango and that kind of thing. So here, but you want to be careful when you do that. You want to absolutely data reporting and transparency so you can see how it performs in that. And so a little commercial for you, Mom. We are doing the monetization. We basically aggregate over 30 video network, ad network we call. And so that you, instead of game developer integrate with 30 or 40 SDKs, you just integrate with us and then we bring you the best fitting at best matching to in your game, the game scenario, and therefore you get the best of monetization for your game. So that's a little bit, and we are a great partner as in China. A lot of, okay, that's fine. Yeah, thank you very much. And any questions, feel free to come.